Hi, this lesson is about how to write an essay of advice. In today's lesson, you are going to learn about the purpose of writing an essay of advice, plus you are going to learn about the layout of the essay and the structure. And now let's start our lesson. We all have problems during our lives. The problems may be health problems, work problems, school problems, or family problems. However, whatever the problem or complaint we have, we all look for solutions. And we try to get advice from people around us, whether our family, our friends, or the people we trust. Now let's read about some problems and the suitable pieces of advice. The first problem, which can be considered a family problem, is: my teacher is taking my class on a trip to France. All my friends are going, but my parents say that I am too young to travel abroad. What should I do? Once we think about this problem, we may give this advice. You should ask them to consult with your teacher. Then they will find out that you will be with your teacher and your friends. Now let's move to the second problem. This problem can be considered a health one. For example, on my last vacation, I gained a lot of weight. Now my clothes are too tight and I can't stop eating. Can you give me some advice? The suitable advice can be: you should go on a diet. Don't eat candy or desserts. You ought to start exercising more too. Join a health club and go there every day. Now let's move to the third problem. The problem is: my best friend always borrows money from me and never pays me back. Last month, she asked me for 500 dirhams. Now she says that if I give her another 500 dirhams, she'll be able to pay me back my money. Do you think I should believe her? One of the suitable advice, and that can be a funny one also, is: I think your friend may not be able to return your money. Maybe you should find a new friend. When we ask for advice or give advice, we can use the models should or ought to. An example is shown here in the conversation. How should I tell my boss I am looking for another job? You shouldn't say anything. You should wait till you have another job. I don't know. I think I really ought to say something now. When we look at this conversation, we will find out that when we ask for advice, we can use the model should. And when we give advice, we can use should and ought to. Let's look at the grammatical point of view. Once we use should or shouldn't, they should be followed by an infinitive verb like tell and say. On the other hand, once we use ought, it should be followed by to plus an infinitive verb like in this example, ought to say. Now let's move to another point. Let's talk about the possible formats or outline once you write your essay of advice. As any essay, once you write your essay of advice, you should start with an introduction. Then you write your first body paragraph. After that, you write your second body paragraph, and then a third body paragraph, and finally, as usual, a conclusion. And now let's talk deeply about what we mentioned previously. What should we write in each paragraph specifically? As we said, we should start our first paragraph, which is our introduction. And in this introduction, you are going to refer to the situation or the complaint or problem presented in the prompt. In addition, you should tell the reader that you are going to give some tips or some pieces of advice. The second paragraph, which is your first body paragraph, in this paragraph you are going to write your first suggestion, and you are going to write about the details and reasons plus examples and the quote in order to support your first suggestion and in order to convince the reader to follow your advice. Then comes your second body paragraph, and in this paragraph you are going to write your second suggestion, and you are going to support it by details, reasons, examples, and a quote. After that comes the third body paragraph, in which you are going to write your third suggestion, and you are going to support it with details, reasons, examples, and a quote too. And finally comes your conclusion. In the conclusion, you are going to summarize what you wrote in the essay as a whole. Now, let's have a look at this prompt. Your friend has just finished grade 12 and she doesn't know which college or university to attend. Write an essay giving her advice. As we see, once we analyze this prompt, we have a problem here. Or you have a problem, which is about your friend. She doesn't know which college or university to attend. And in your essay or your writing, you should give her some piece of advice to help her choose a better one or a suitable one that suits her interests. The first important step before writing your essay of advice is to brainstorm words that are related to the content or idea. And here we have the problem, which is which college or university to attend. Now you have a minute to think of the words you may brainstorm to solve this problem. Now, let's look at the words you may brainstorm. The first one is specializations. Once we talk about this word, we can say that in universities there are many specializations from which you can choose. For example, you may specialize in medicine or in engineering. The second word is location. Once you're going to attend a college, you should think about its location. Is it far or near your home? The third word that you can brainstorm is fees. We mean by fees, are you going to pay for the college or university or not? Is it free or not? Can your family afford it or not too? The next word is quality, which means, does the college or university offer students with a high quality education, or good facilities or learning experiences in classes? The next word is the kind of education. Is it a practical education or a theoretical one? Another word is accreditation. Is the college or university you're going to attend accredited outside your country, or even is it approved in your country? The next word is reputation. Is the college or university a well-reputed one? And now another word is hostel. Are you going to live in a hostel during your study? Which means there is a relation between this word and location. If the location of the university is far, this means you may stay in a hostel. Are you ready for this experience? Another word is transportation. Is the college or university near your home? And what kind of transportation are you going to use? Are you going to go by the bus of the college or university or by a private car? Now, let's talk about the essay of advice structure. As we said previously, you should start your essay with an introduction. And inside this introduction, you should refer to the prompt, the complaint, the situation, or the problem mentioned in the prompt. And then you tell the reader that you are going to give him or give them some pieces of advice to help them solve the problem. For example, let's read this introduction. My friend Alia has just finished grade 12 and she doesn't know which college or university to attend. In this essay, I am going to give her some tips to help her with her choice. After that comes your first body paragraph. And inside this body paragraph, you are going to give your first suggestion and you are going to support it with details, examples, and a quote. For example, the first suggestion is, she should think of the quality of education offered by the college or university she's going to choose. The details are as following. The college or university should provide students with quality classroom experiences and excellent facilities. The next detail can be, it should have a good reputation. And it should be accredited by the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research. And now comes the quote you may mention in your essay. Sarah, who is an Egyptian student at Ajman University, says that Ajman University is accredited not only in the Emirates, but even in my country, of course, which is Egypt. Now, let's move to the second body paragraph. As we mentioned previously, in the second body paragraph, you write your second suggestion and you provide some examples, details, and a quote to support your idea. The second suggestion here is, she should think of the location of the college or university, supported by some of these details. The college or university should be in the same emirate where she lives. In addition, if it's far, it should provide transportation from and to the university. Furthermore, the university should have a hostel if it exists in another emirate. The quote that can come here is, Amna, who is a student at Al-Ittihad University, says, I live in Fujairah and I study at Al-Ittihad University in Iraq. That's okay because the university provides transportation. As you see, this quote serve the same suggestion and can make the reader be convinced by your piece of advice. And now let's move to the third body paragraph, which is about the third suggestion. The third suggestion here is, She ought to think of the specializations offered by the college or university. And the details can be as the following. The college or university should have a range of specializations that suit students' needs and interests. And finally comes the quote, which is, Hamad, who is a student at RAK Medical and Health Sciences University, says, I wanted to specialize in dental sciences, so I study at RAK Medical and Health Sciences University. Now, once you write your essay and you finish writing it, you should check your work. Is it completely right or not? You should ask yourself some questions to check it by, like these ones. Number 1, do I state the complaint or problem clearly in my introduction? Do I tell the reader what I want to say? The second important question is, do I put each suggestion in a separate paragraph? The third question, do I include details, examples, and reasons to support my suggestions? And number 4, do I include quotes for each suggestion? And now let's summarize what we learned today in our lesson. When you ask for and give advice, you can use the model should or ought to. And let's talk now about the grammatical point of view. Once we use should or shouldn't, they should be followed by an infinitive verb. On the other hand, once you use ought, it should be followed by to plus an infinitive verb. The possible format that you can use when you write an essay of advice is as the following. You start with an introduction, and in this introduction, you refer to the situation, the complaint or problem presented in the prompt. And you are going to tell the reader that you are going to give him some pieces of advice too. After that comes your first body paragraph, and in this paragraph, you are going to mention your first suggestion, supported by details, reasons, and examples, and the quote too. Then comes your second body paragraph, and in the second body paragraph, you're going to write your second suggestion, details, reasons, examples, and the quote in order to support it. In the third body paragraph, you're going to write your third suggestion, and you're going to provide details, reasons, and examples, plus a quote, in order to support it too. And finally, you're going to write your conclusion. And in this conclusion, you are going to summarize what you wrote in the whole essay. This brings us to the end of our lesson for today. I hope you find it beneficial. Thank you and goodbye.